Today we are going to learn about the three programs which are normally related to your multi-threading concept as well as your user-defined exception. We learn only the programs which are depends on the concept I taught to you. Okay, here if you want to throw an exception and sort out that exception and handle that exception, that time we use the type which is called as a user-defined exception, which is normally able to throw an exception by using the throw keyword. Okay, and as we know that what is the means of exception or what is the means of exception handling? Exception is nothing but the one type of runtime error, and that runtime error suddenly stop the execution of program. And if you want to recover that error or solve the erroneous condition, that time what we did, we are normally use the exception handling concept. And whenever we are using the exception handling concept, that time whichever the unexpected situation may occur due to the runtime error, that condition will have to be recovered with the help of exception handling concept, which is comes with the try and catch block. Okay, and we learned about the what is the means of a predefined exception. Now we have to look at the what is the means of user defined exception. And whenever we want to send or throw an exception which is a user one, which are the user defined one, that time we have to use the keyword throw. Use the keyword throw. As I shown on your screen, I am selecting that word that is normally used to throw an exception, and throwing that exception we have to catch that exception which is into the catch block. Okay, let's see from starting point. Here normally we created the class which is name is my exception. My exception is a class name. Then extend keywords used to use exception class, that is the extend exception. This is the procedure how we can handle an exception. Okay, class name extend exception by handle the exception. Then we use the public my exception string method. Means my exception is one type of constructor which is normally used as a method which calls to the our exception class, which is a super S. Okay, normally the call the constructor of a parent exception. Okay, this is the basic class we seen here. The next important class we created here, the main class, public class main. The main class is the class which is normally used to execute all the program instruction. This is the first class, this is the second class, public class main. In main class we have the main function, that is the public static. Okay, and use the try block to throw an exception and exception. Why we are throwing this particular statement will hold an error. We didn't know that there is an error will occur in. We are only making a prediction that this particular statement will have an error. If this particular statement will have an error, then definitely this error will sort out into this catch block. But we use catch my exception. Why it is use my exception keyword? Because this my exception keyword is nothing but the user defined exception. That's why we use the my exception keyword, and this my exception keyword is nothing but the name of your class which throws an user defined exception. Okay, let's see. In the block we use the statement as a throw new my exception geeks of geeks, because this exception of geeks website, that's why the term is given here. Whenever we have the multiple classes, that time each class we have to put into the editor and have to be saved firstly. After saving that, compiling the each class and then execute the last class. In this situation, two class. One is the my exception, second class is the main, and whichever the class has the main function, main method. The main method is the public static void main. This is the main method. Whichever the class who has main method, that class has to be compiled lastly and execute only this class. Then and then only the program will execute and produce the desired result. If we did something wrong, then the program will not execute at all. Okay, the same thing I asked you in the first lecture. Okay, firstly, what we did, we copy this content from here, paste into our notepad editor, and in this notepad editor, we save the program with the name of myexception.java. Okay, the next part of the program is available here. Same procedure we have to follow. Copy the program from here, Control C, go to the window, Control A, Control V. Okay, then first class we save with the name of my exception. A second class which has the name main. Again saves file, save as main.java and click on the all files and click on the save button. Okay, this is how we have to save a program. Okay, generally let's see what happens. Once again, I want to come point here. This program is demonstration of user-defined exception, through which we are normally defining the how to throw an exception. And whenever we want to throw an exception manually, that time we have to use the keyword which is named as a throw. Only by using this throw keyword, we are able to create an exception manually. And why we have to create an exception? Because if suppose the erroneous situation occurs in the program and it terminate the execution of program suddenly without giving any type of message or any notification. It doesn't show any message, any notification, and directly terminate the execution of program. That time the situation occurs. This situation is called as a exception situation. And to handle that exception situation, there are the two types of exception handling mechanism was used. First one, the predefined exception. The second one is user-defined exception. The predefined exceptions are nothing but the arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception, null pointer exception, your interrupted exception, and they are the number of exceptions which are already defined by the system, and those exceptions have to be caught by the system themselves. Okay, if some type of exception condition occurs in the program, if suppose we want to throw the manual exception, that exception is created with the help of throw keyword, and the same operation we are performing here. We are throwing the manual exception. This is the exception which we throws in this block, and if the error will occur, that will be sorted out or solved by this catch block, and the next block will execute. Go to the place where we store the program. We store the program on desktop. Use CD desktop window. We move to the desktop folder, then set a path. For setting a path, go to the C drive, then program files, then Java folder, then JDK folder, then bin folder. Copy the path from here by using the shortcut key Control C. Go to the window, paste here, and complete the double quotation mark, and press enter. When you do that, use the keyword Java C to the path is set properly. If we appear this number of lines of code, that means the path whichever we are setting here is properly. Okay. The next important thing which we have to do, that compile the program. First of all, compile the first class whichever is saved as a name exception. Sorry. My exception. This is the first class. The second of all, we have to save the program by my exception. Then we saved the program by using the main class. Okay. Let's see how to compile the program. Go to the Java C. Then type the name of first class, which is a my exception dot Java. Then press enter. If it has any error, it will display here, but there is no error in this particular program or particular class. Then what is the next step? To compile a program that compile the next class, whichever the second one. But we only have these two class. One is a simple class and second is the main method class. Then we have to compile again main method class. Java C, which is has the name main.java, and press enter. When you press enter, the next and very, very important thing which we have to remember, that if we have the multiple number of classes and we are compiling the program and executing the program, only one thing we have to do, that compile all the classes and execute only the class which have the main method. And in this program, the main class have the main method. That's why we have to execute only the last class. The name was main, and the keyword we used to execute the program, Java, and the class name main, and press enter. It shows the result as what gigs. This is all about your how to define the manual exception. Okay, I hope so it easy for you. The next program, which is concerning to the multi-threading. Actually, we have been completed the multi-threading concept. We have been seen the different programs in multi-threading only for your reviewing purpose. I use the concept again, and in this lecture, I am only going to explain the programs and execute the programs. Okay. The programs normally used to demonstrate the multi-threading concept. Okay, what is the means of multi-threading concept? The multi-threading concept is nothing but the divide the one big program into small parts, and each parts are defined as a thread. And that thread is nothing but the one type of independent program which executes their task independently, and all threads, suppose the one program have the 5 threads, 5 parts, every parts execute itself independently, and all those programs executes parallelly, means they are not dependent on each other. They are not dependent on each other, and they perform their operation within time without facing any problem. And only one thing they have to do, they sharing the common memory. Okay, that's why the concept is called as a multi-threading. That's why the concept is called as a multi-threading, where we make a part of the large program into small one, and every small program perform their operation, perform their task independently. Why they are performing the task independently? Because they want to do the operation as quick as possible within the stipulated time, and without have to be care about if any errors may arise in your any part of the program. That's why we use the concept as a multi-threading. Okay, let's see here. Here we use the multi-threading concept program. And how to create a thread? There are 2 types of thread, by using the extend class and by using the implement the runnable interface. This program normally used to display how to create a thread by using the extend class. Demo is the class name. Okay, which extends thread. And we use the public void run method. This is the very third, one of the most important method in your program. If we are creating to displaying the multi-threading, this method states us the program start to execution, or the multi-threading concept will normally able to execute itself. Okay, next, again we use the try block for if any type of error may arise that have to be recovered, in which system.out.println thread plus thread.current thread dot get id plus is running. Means whichever the id we are getting from the current thread, whichever the id we are getting from the current thread, that should be printed here in between thread and is running text. This is the main thing says here. Okay, next, catch block. If this statement may raise an error, that statement has to be recovered here and throw an exception which is handled here, and the message will be printed after that. If error arises there, exception is caught only. If this statement have the error, then the statement will printed, exception is caught. This is the first class of a thread. Second class is a public class multi-thread. Public class multi-thread, in which we have the main method, then we declare the variable n is equal to 8, then we use for int is equal to I less than n, I plus plus, and then we create an object whose name is new and object start. This object is nothing but type of thread. We create a thread and then use the object start. The object is a thread. It's a start method. That means please start the execution of a thread. Now whatever the number of line of code this particular object may refer, that have to be printed. Means this object refers to this class, and that is normally calls this particular method given here. This object calls this method, and this object is nothing but the thread, because to create a thread we use class name, then thread name, new class name. Okay, or we can also be able to use as a thread. Procedure are the same. Go to the file, go to the save as, use yumdemo.java. File, save. Minimize the option. Then again go to the main class. That main class named as the multi-thread. Control C. Again go to the notepad. Thread username .java. Select option all files. Save button. Okay, so this procedure will be program or class. Next, we have to do compile the program. As well, the concept we followed, as usual, the procedure we have been followed for compiling the program. Compile the first class, which name has a yum demo.java. Statement used for the compiling the yum demo class. Enter it. It doesn't show any type of message. It means whatever the right that so next thing which we have to do, that is the compiling the next class, which is Java C multi-thread. Multi-thread.java. Press enter. Okay. It means it also doesn't have any type of error. Next thing we have to do here, execute the program, and whenever you want to execute the program, execute the class who has the main method by the multi-thread. That's why we have to execute the multi-thread class and press enter. Let's see here. What is the output is here. thread 10 is running, thread 12 is running, thread 11 is running, thread 13 is running, thread 14 is running, 16, 17, 16, 15, 17. These threads are running. Okay, this is all about your multi-threading program. Okay, this is the first program which is used to create a thread by using the extending the class. Next program is like that, only the difference is here. We use the implement runnable interface. Why we are seeing the two programs here? Because there are two ways to create a thread. First, extend the thread. Likewise here, and here implement the runnable interface. Okay, same program, same concept, only we have to compile the program and execute the program. Whatever the procedure we use there, same procedure has been applied here, and that may run according to the number whichever we are given there, and it will execute and it will show us a result. Okay, this is all about the programs which